Hello everyone, welcome to English Talk with Annies.
Sam, I want to tell you about something small that happened to me this week, and I still can't stop thinking about it.
Okay, now I'm curious. What happened?
I finished a big project at work. It took me almost 2 weeks, late nights, a lot of effort, and when I finally sent it to my manager, you know what I said to myself?
What did you say?
I said, "It's not perfect, but I guess it's fine."
That's it? After 2 weeks of hard work?
That's it. No celebration, no, I did a great job, just, I guess it's fine.
Honestly, that sounds painfully familiar.
Right? And later that night, I was talking to a friend, and she told me about a small thing she finished, and I said, "Wow, that's amazing. You should be so proud of yourself." So easily, instantly.
But you couldn't say that to yourself?
I couldn't. And that's when it hit me. We give away kindness so easily to other people, but we barely save any for ourselves.
That's such an honest thing to admit.
And I think a lot of people feel exactly this way, but never say it out loud. So today, that's what we're talking about.
Learning to love yourself more.
Exactly. Hey everyone, welcome back to English Talk with Annies, your friendly place to learn real, everyday English through natural conversation.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Mira. And today's topic is a little more personal than usual. We're talking about self-love, not in a big, dramatic way, but in small, real, everyday ways.
Because self-love isn't always candles and spa days. Sometimes it's just being a little kinder to yourself in ordinary moments.
Exactly. Saying no when you need to. Resting without feeling guilty. Speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to a friend you love.
This episode is perfect for A2 to B1 learners. We'll keep the English simple, warm, and easy to follow. If you miss a word here and there, don't worry. Just stay with the feeling of the conversation.
Later, we'll slow down for our word tour, where we'll go through several useful words that will help you talk about self-love and self-care in English.
And near the end, we'll take a few simple sentences and make them sound more natural in Say It Better.
So, get comfortable, and let's talk about learning to love yourself a little more. Sam, let's start with that story I told you. Why do you think it's so hard for people to be kind to themselves?
I think it's because we're taught to be humble, to work hard, to not brag. So we get really good at giving credit to others, but really bad at giving credit to ourselves.
That's true. If someone says, "You did a great job," a lot of people immediately say, "Oh, it was nothing," instead of just saying, "Thank you."
Exactly. We push away kindness even when it's offered to us.
So what's the first small step someone can take toward loving themselves more?
I think it starts with noticing your own value. There's a great word for that, self-worth.
Self-worth. That sounds like a big concept.
It sounds big, but it's actually simple. Self-worth means understanding that you matter, that you deserve good things, just because you exist, not because you achieved something or made someone else happy.
So self-worth isn't something you earn.
No, and that's the important part. A lot of people think, I'll feel worthy once I get the promotion, or once I lose weight, or once people like me more. But self-worth isn't a reward. It's something you already have.
That's a powerful way to think about it. You could say, "I'm working on recognizing my own self-worth."
Perfect sentence. Or you could say, understanding my self-worth changed how I talk to myself.
Let's talk about something specific. What about people who always say yes, even when they don't want to?
Ah, that's such a common struggle. I actually do this too. Someone asks for a favor, and even if I'm exhausted, I say, sure, no problem, when inside I'm thinking, please, not today.
That inner voice never gets invited to the actual conversation.
Exactly. It just stays quiet in the back of your mind. And that's where the idea of boundaries comes in.
Boundaries. I hear that word a lot these days.
It's become popular, but the meaning is simple. Boundaries are the limits you set to protect your time, your energy, and your feelings. It's knowing what you're okay with and what you're not.
Can you give an example?
Sure, if a friend always calls you late at night to talk about their problems and it leaves you feeling drained, a boundary could be saying, I care about you, but I can't talk this late anymore. Can we talk tomorrow?
That sounds kind, but also honest.
That's the goal. You could say, I'm learning to set healthier boundaries with my time, or setting boundaries with my family was hard but necessary.
I think a lot of learners will relate to that, especially with family.
Definitely. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about protecting your peace so you can actually show up for the people you love without feeling completely empty.
That's such an important distinction. Now, here's a question. What happens when we don't have boundaries at all?
Then we usually end up feeling tired, a little bitter, and sometimes even angry at people who didn't do anything wrong. They just took what we offered because we never said stop.
That's such an honest way to put it.
It's something I had to learn the hard way.
Let's pause here for a second. If you're enjoying this conversation, please take a moment to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to English Talk with Anise.
And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is one small way you show your self-kindness? It could be something tiny, like resting with guilt, or saying no to something you didn't want to do.
We really do read your comments, so don't be shy.
All right, let's continue. Mira, I wanted to ask you something. Do you ever compare yourself to other people online?
Oh, constantly. I'll see someone my age who seems to have everything figured out, a great career, a nice home, endless energy, and suddenly my normal, average day feels like a failure.
That happens to so many of us, and I think that's connected to another important idea, validation.
Validation, meaning wanting other people to approve of us.
Exactly. Validation is that feeling of being accepted, appreciated, or told that you're doing okay by someone else. And it's not a bad thing to want. We're human. We like support.
But
if you only feel okay when someone else praises you, that becomes a very fragile way to live because people are busy. People forget. People aren't always paying attention.
So your happiness shouldn't completely depend on someone else noticing you.
Right. You could say, I used to seek validation from everyone around me, or I'm learning not to need constant validation to feel good about myself.
That's such a mature way to express it.
It takes practice, though. It's not something that changes overnight.
Speaking of practice, what about the way we talk to ourselves when we make mistakes? Because I know for me, my inner voice can be really harsh.
Oh, mine too. If I forget something small, I'll think, you're so careless. Why can't you just remember things? But if my friend forgot the exact same thing, I would never speak to her that way.
Right, we'd probably say, it's okay, everyone forgets sometimes.
Exactly. So why don't we offer ourselves that same gentleness? This is where the idea of self-compassion comes in.
Self-compassion. That sounds like a beautiful word.
It is. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend, especially when you're struggling or you've made a mistake.
So instead of saying, I'm so stupid, you could say,
that didn't go the way I wanted, but I can learn from it. Or, I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm only human.
That already feels lighter just hearing it.
It really does change your whole mood. You could say, I'm trying to practice more self-compassion when things go wrong. That's such a useful sentence for daily life.
I want to go a little deeper here, Sam. Do you think there's a difference between self-compassion and just letting yourself off the hook? Because sometimes people worry that being kind to themselves means they stop trying.
That's such an important question, and I think it's the biggest misunderstanding about self-compassion. Being kind to yourself doesn't mean you stop growing. It actually helps you grow more, because you're not wasting energy on shame.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. If you make a mistake and you spend 3 days feeling terrible about it, calling yourself names in your head, that energy doesn't help you improve. It just makes you tired and afraid to try again.
Right. Fear doesn't usually make people better. It just makes them freeze.
Exactly. But if you say, Okay, that didn't work. Let's figure out why and try differently next time. You're using your energy to actually move forward, not to punish yourself.
So self-compassion is almost more productive than self-criticism.
In most cases, yes. You could say, being kind to myself actually helps me improve faster. Or, I realized that shame was slowing me down, not helping me.
Those are such useful sentences, especially for anyone who's been taught that being hard on themselves is the only way to succeed.
Exactly. And so many of us were taught exactly that.
Let's talk about something else that connects to this: being authentic. I feel like people talk about being yourself, but what does that actually mean in daily conversation?
That's a great question. Being authentic means being true to who you really are instead of pretending to be someone else just to be liked or accepted.
Can you give an everyday example?
Sure. Imagine your friends are all going out to a loud party, but you actually prefer a quiet night at home. Being authentic means admitting that instead of forcing yourself to go and pretending to enjoy it.
Even if it disappoints someone?
Sometimes, yes, and that's hard. But living authentically usually feels much better than constantly performing a version of yourself that isn't real.
You could say, I'm trying to live more authentically this year. Or, being authentic with my friends made our relationship stronger.
Perfect examples.
Now, here's something I think about a lot. What if someone feels like they've lost themselves completely, like they don't even know what they enjoy anymore because they've spent so long focusing on everyone else?
That's actually really common, especially for people who take care of others a lot. Parents, caregivers, even people in demanding jobs. You give, and one day you realize you don't even remember what makes you happy anymore.
That sounds lonely.
It can be, but there's a hopeful side too. You can restore that connection with yourself. It just takes small steps.
Restore. That's an interesting word here.
Yes, to restore something means to bring it back to a good condition, like restoring an old photograph or restoring a garden that's been neglected.
So you're restoring your relationship with yourself.
Exactly. You could say, I'm slowly restoring my sense of who I am, or spending time alone helped me restore my energy and my identity.
That's such a hopeful way to look at it. Not broken forever, just needing a little care and attention.
Exactly. Nothing about self-love means being perfect from the very beginning. It's a slow, gentle process of coming back to yourself.
I want to bring up one more idea, if that's okay. What about forgiving yourself? I feel like that's something people almost never talk about.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I think it might be the hardest part of this whole topic.
Why do you think that is?
Because we can forgive other people fairly easily sometimes. A friend hurts our feelings, and after a while we say, it's okay, I understand, people make mistakes. But when it's our own mistake, we hold on to it for years.
That's so true. I still think about small embarrassing things I did years ago.
Everyone has that one memory that randomly appears at 2 a.m.
Exactly that one.
But holding on to old guilt doesn't protect us. It just keeps us stuck in a version of ourselves that no longer exists. Self-forgiveness means accepting that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time and allowing yourself to move forward.
So it's not saying what I did was fine. It's more like, I understand why it happened, and I'm allowing myself to grow from it.
Exactly right. You could say, I'm learning to forgive myself for old mistakes, or self-forgiveness helped me finally let go of that guilt.
That's such a freeing idea.
It really is, because guilt that never ends doesn't make you a better person. It just makes you a tired one.
I love that line.
Thank you. I might use that one again.
Let's talk about gratitude for a moment, but a slightly different kind. Gratitude towards yourself. Is that even a normal concept?
It's becoming more common, and I think it should be even more normal than it is. We're often taught to be grateful for other people, for opportunities, for things that happen to us, but rarely are we taught to be grateful for our own effort.
Can you give an example of what that sounds like?
Sure. Instead of only thinking, I'm grateful my manager gave me this opportunity, you could also think, I'm grateful for how hard I worked to get here. It shifts part of the appreciation back to yourself.
That feels different from bragging, though. It's more like quiet acknowledgement.
Exactly. It's not about announcing it to everyone. It's a private, honest recognition of your own effort.
You could say, I'm grateful for how far I've come. Or, I try to appreciate my own effort, not just the results.
Those are lovely sentences, Mira.
So if we put all of this together, self-worth, boundaries, validation, self-compassion, authenticity, restoring yourself, self-forgiveness, and gratitude towards yourself, what would you say is the biggest takeaway?
I think it's this. Loving yourself isn't selfish. It's not about ignoring other people or thinking you're better than everyone else. It's simply about including yourself on the list of people you take care of.
Including yourself. That's such a simple but powerful idea.
It really is. You can care deeply about your family, your friends, your work, and still remember that you matter too.
All right, let's slow down now and go through today's word tour. Useful words to help you talk about self-love and self-care in your own life.
Let's begin with our first word, self-worth.
Self-worth. Self-worth.
Self-worth means understanding that you have value and deserve good things simply because you exist, not because of what you achieve.
You could say, I'm working on recognizing my own self-worth, or therapy helped me understand my self-worth.
Nice examples. Let's move to our second word, boundaries.
Boundaries. Boundaries.
Boundaries are the limits you set to protect your time, energy, and feelings so that you're not constantly giving more than you can handle.
You could say, I'm learning to set healthier boundaries at work, or setting boundaries with my family was difficult but necessary.
Our third word is validation.
Validation. Validation.
Validation means feeling accepted, appreciated, or approved of by someone else.
For example, I used to look for validation from everyone around me, or I don't need constant validation to feel proud of myself.
Word number 4 is self-compassion.
Self-compassion. Self-compassion.
Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a close friend, especially during hard or embarrassing moments.
You could say, I'm practicing more self-compassion when I make mistakes, or self-compassion helped me stop being so hard on myself.
Our fifth word is authentic.
Authentic. Authentic.
Authentic means being true to who you really are, instead of pretending to be someone else to be accepted.
You could say, I'm trying to live more authentically this year, or being authentic made our friendship so much stronger.
Our sixth word is restore.
Restore. Restore.
Restore means to bring something back to a good, healthy condition, like restoring your energy or restoring your sense of self.
You could say, I'm slowly restoring my relationship with myself, or a quiet weekend helped me restore my energy.
Our seventh word today is self-forgiveness.
Self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness.
Self-forgiveness means accepting your own past mistakes with understanding instead of holding on to guilt forever.
You could say, I'm learning to practice self-forgiveness, or self-forgiveness helped me finally move forward.
And our final word today is gratitude, especially gratitude towards yourself.
Gratitude. Gratitude.
Gratitude means feeling thankful, and in this case, feeling thankful for your own effort and growth, not just for things that happen to you.
You could say, I try to feel gratitude for how far I've come, or gratitude towards myself helps me stay motivated.
So today's words were self-worth, boundaries, validation, self-compassion, authentic, restore, self-forgiveness, and gratitude.
Try picking just one or two of these words and using them this week. You don't need to remember everything at once. Now, let's move to one of my favorite parts, say it better. We'll take a few simple sentences and make them sound smoother and more natural.
Let's start with this one. A learner might say, I don't say no to people.
That's honest, but we can make it more reflective. A smoother way to say it is, I'm learning to set healthier boundaries.
Much more natural. Here's another one. I am hard on myself.
That's fine, but we can make it warmer. You could say, I'm trying to practice more self-compassion.
I like how that shifts the focus from the problem to the solution. Next sentence. I want people to like me.
A more mature version would be, I used to look for validation from everyone around me. It shows self-awareness, not just a simple wish.
One more. I feel like I don't know myself anymore.
You could smooth that out into, I'm slowly restoring my sense of who I am. It sounds hopeful, not stuck.
Here's another common one. I still feel bad about something I did a long time ago.
That's very human, but we can express it more gently. You could say, I'm learning to forgive myself for old mistakes.
That sounds so much kinder. Last one. I never think about my own effort, only the result.
A more thoughtful way to say that is, I'm trying to appreciate my own effort, not just the results.
These small changes really do make a big difference in how mature and thoughtful your English sounds.
Absolutely. It's not about using harder words. It's about choosing words that carry the real feeling underneath. So today, we talked about learning to love yourself more, understanding your self-worth, setting boundaries, letting go of constant validation, practicing self-compassion, living authentically, restoring your relationship with yourself, forgiving your past mistakes, and even feeling gratitude toward your own effort.
And I hope this episode reminded you that loving yourself isn't selfish. It's simply remembering that you belong on your own list of people to take care of.
I think I needed to hear that again today, honestly.
I think we both did.
If this episode helped you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to English Talk with Anis so you never miss a new lesson.
And we genuinely love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what is one small way you can be kinder to yourself this week? Try using one of today's words like boundaries, self-worth, or self-compassion.
Also, if you know someone who might need to hear this today, please share this episode with them. Sometimes the smallest reminder makes the biggest difference.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Take care of your English and take care of yourself, too.
This is Mira.
And this is Sam.
And you've been listening to English Talk with Anis. Bye for now.
Take care, everyone. See you in the next episode.